He loves his footy club and loves his footy, and I'm going to hand over to Luke now to get a little bit serious.
That was entertaining. I had no idea that it was going, but
nowhere in particular.
First of all, you've taken over the job as the new general manager, but you've had a wide and varied career outside of Adelaide Uni, John, in footy, and you'll just tell us about your footy background in football.
I played, start from senior footy. I mean, I played a little bit at Woodview with some under-19s that in those days weren't terribly successful, and some reserves footy for Woodville as well. And then from there I ended up at the Broadview Footy Club, where I played 100 plus games over about an 8 or 9 year period with 4 grand finals and 2 premierships in there as well. So I finished there at the end of 1998, and I think over a few beers with Evan Arnold at the Havelock Hotel, we decided that we probably should have 1 more year. So I decided to do that, and ended up at university with Evan. Wasn't a terribly successful year, but
of course Evan was the gun, always full forward, sort of key forward post man for many years at Adelaide Uni.
Played cricket at Sturt.
Yep. So stayed there, and like most people that end up at a club, you fall in love with the place, and ended up coaching the B grade for 4 or 5 years with 2 premierships there as well. So and then onto the board and various committees, and ended up as delegate, where I then decided that I wanted to stand for the board at the Amateur League, and that's how
A stint at Norwood?
I had a year at Norwood in 2005. I'm friends with Dale Lewis, and I was his chief whiteboard carrier for 12 months.
So you're on the league coaching panel with Peter Rowe?
Yep.
So that's a wide, you've gone from, Woodville West Torrens to Broadview, Norwood University, so that's a broad range of club and then collegiate sites.
Yep.
So that's ticks a lot of boxes for a lot of people in terms of having that diversity in football background. Since then, you've gone on to an administrative career in football.
Yeah.
So what's been the background there?
So I as a delegate at Adelaide University, I was privileged to see the way things were heading with the Amateur League at the time, and decided that there were some areas that I thought that I could make some improvements with. So I stood for the board in 2010, and then obviously that 18-month period saw a lot of changes on the board and with the management of the league, and then the opportunity came up about 5 weeks ago to put my hand up for the position of General Manager of Football Operations, and did, and fortunately I snuck through.
Yeah, this is just a personal thing, and not because you're here, because I think I've said it to you on the phone, that for anyone out there that you're in football, John ticks off a lot of boxes, in terms of football playing. To be in a position like this, firstly and foremost, you have to have played. Well, that's my opinion. He's also coached, played in grand finals, and been an administrator. So you don't tick off too many boxes like that. So I think a pretty good appointment by whoever did it. Next thing, I notice you're not the football director or the president, delegate, secretary, or chairman at uni. Have you still got an involvement with the club, or?
Oh no! Listen, I jumped off the board at university when I went onto the board at the Amateur League. So I've actually been off the board there since the end of 2010. Naturally, you stay involved at some level simply because you've made so many friends, lifelong friends, appointments wherever. You still maintain those friendships. So, as an official of the Adelaide University, that ceased at the end of 2010. Mm-hmm. Clearly, I have an interest on their fortunes, just as I do with Broadview.
As you would.
So, they're subject to the rules of the South Australian Amateur Football League, just like everyone else. In fact, I think they copped a fine this week for non-supply of team results after last weekend. So they don't miss out on anything.
Yeah, no, it's just more for the people out there who may not know that, not with Adelaide Junior. Just
listen, regardless of whether I have resigned or not, you'd need to give some credit to the integrity of the league, that they certainly wouldn't have anyone on their board that would act, or as an employee that would be able to act as an official capacity at their former club. So,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever I wanted to do, the league would never allow it anyway.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. So yeah, that just clears it up for anyone who might have known, who didn't know. Sorry. So now you've been at the Amateur League 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yes.
What does a normal day hold?
Well, the first week, funnily enough, was investigations, and there was a little bit of tribunal stuff as well, so that took up a large portion of the week. The second week, with Kylie Weekly leaving the Amateur League, there needs to be a reasonable handover of her responsibilities to those in the office, so that we've been facilitating that to make sure those functions don't fall through the cracks. This week we had some under 15 and 17 championships at the league, so there were some other things to do. There's never a dull moment at the league.
So it's a pretty full-on sort of day, or
you can go through the whole day and suddenly look at your watch and realise that it's 4:30 in the afternoon. It's non-stop.
So it's basically 9 in the morning till 9 at night.
Oh, you'll find. I mean, that's everyone's employment hours are 9 to 5. You could go there at any time in the morning and find most of the staff there at 8 in the morning and are still there at 6 o'clock at night. So it's whatever's happening at the time, and that's just how we roll.
And weekends, Saturdays, Sundays?
Saturdays as well. We obviously now with a game being at Thebarton every Saturday, we have to have someone at Thebarton as part of our liquor licence. So that's me, and it's a good opportunity as well to see what's going on around the place and see other clubs and see what they've got to say about the league and where it's going.
Yeah, good idea. What do you see as the challenges for the Amateur League, both now and next 5 years?
Oh, there's a few things. There's the Thebarton precinct is a challenge to make that available to the wider community commercially as well. We're in the process of securing grants for a $7 million redevelopment of the current function centre.
Okay.
Which is a long-term plan, but that is, we're working feverishly with the Woodville, with West Torrens Council, and they're being very cooperative in ensuring that we can move forward. They'd very much like to see the Thebarton precinct become a community hub for all things sport, and the Amateur League will act as the principal tenant of that, and ensure that everyone's happy.
So that will be an increase in the size of the function room, or just
It'll become a 2-storey building.
2-storey building?
Yep.
So at the moment, out the back there's nothing, and then there's the grandstand at the front of it, isn't there?
No, that's where the current function centre is. There's nothing on top.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the southern side of the Bob Hank Brothers, or the Hank Brothers stand. There's nothing there at all, so that will go up a level.
Straight up.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. So there's
There's plenty going on. So there's that from a precinct point of view. From a league point of view, we're obviously very, very hot at the moment, and will continue to stay hot on ensuring that that the league and its clubs and our clubs' members can maintain an environment in which everyone can enjoy and participate. And I think it's well documented that we'll be acting very harshly with those that don't want to comply, and we've been buoyed by the support from clubs that been providing us feedback that we're doing the right thing, and they think there'll be some pain in the short term, but in the long term everyone will enjoy it.
We're referring there to the on-field.
The on-field, and we had some unsavoury incidents in the last few weeks, of course, that were well published in the media, and we've acted swiftly to make sure that we can head that off at the pass.
Personally, I mean, 30 odd years playing or coaching, and you can't condone people hitting and
No,
kicking and
not at all.
spitting and you know, there's certain things you can do, and you as a player, you know, there's a few things that you can do a little bit, and you know, there's 4 or 5 things that are just no-go zones, and they've got to be closed.
Even in the time since I stopped playing myself, there were things that were half accepted as part of football. Social standards today have driven the fact that they're not acceptable anymore, and you know, we understand that people are going to get injured playing football. It's a contact sport, and that's not in question. But what is in question is people that want to go out and use the football field as a platform to hurt other people on purpose. They're the people that we won't tolerate in the league at all.
No, yeah, but it's not going to take the fabric away in terms of sanitisation.
Not at all. No.
Because you see a fair bit of that with the AFL, a little bit.
Well, the beauty of football is it attracts many types of characters, and you don't want to have all the same character, otherwise the game becomes boring. But that's the principle of that is the same in anything, in any walk of life. You need characters in the game, and we've got plenty of them, but we certainly don't need those ones.
No, we certainly don't need those. And I cannot believe it. Also with Thebarton, you said about a hub. So there'll be other sports there, because people don't know maybe what goes on in summer. You know, because I see Thebarton just outside of the city, maybe a venue for the future, for concerts, maybe for other sports, a whole lot of things. What other things could there be?
We're open. We're currently in. We've had preliminary discussions with those in cricket circles as to whether that would become a cricket oval again. Not sure entirely that would be a great fit, but at the end of the day, it's
limited with trial matches.
It's limited, and at the end of the day, it is a football oval, and we're using it for our members. But Adelaide Bite recently showed interest. They subsequently signed another 12-month agreement at Norwood Oval. They showed interest that they would like to set up camp there.
That's obviously the baseball team.
That's right.
That don't follow.
Yep. And then we're open to other groups.
Is that through the baseball league or just the Bite?
The baseball league. And in actual fact, that went as far as we were a little bit ignorant to how that all worked at the time, but the administrators from America actually flew out and inspected the facilities, and at the death knock, they re-signed only for another 12 months at Norwood Oval. So that's still open, and still open for negotiation for the following year.
Yeah, well, for those who don't know, because I've had a few chats with Baseball SA, that the Yanks have put in about 100 million into baseball in Australia.
They have plenty. And you know, it's our job to ensure that we can get a slice of that form of income wherever we can, because wherever we can keeps our costs down, or keeps the club's costs down to run the league. So that's our primary objective.
Yeah, because you know, you see Thebarton, you only see it there in the winter, and you just see so many things that it could be used for externally, and as we keep people's, how do you put it, their life in terms of their work change. It used to be 8 o'clock till 4 or 9 till 5.
Yeah. In
the future, it'll be entirely different. So I mean, that's where the lights come into it. People have to think outside the square of it's not just 9 to 5 type precinct.
Changes all the time. We're going through a process now where we're drawing up a list of community functions that are held throughout the metropolitan area to see to at least put Thebarton Oval as an option for us to host those shows.
Yeah, that's great. Last one, state footy, and the open age under 23 concept. Any chance of getting that? I know I speak to a lot of coaches, like more in a pre-season type thing. I think both of them are valued, but I think they have less value in the middle of the season when I think coaches and that want to give them players that week off. Yeah,
quite possibly. The problem with state football or any sport is that it takes two to tango, and if we don't play, or if we want to change the format, it's got to go to consultation with all the other leagues, Victoria, Western Australia and Tasmania.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we act as what the clubs want. Now, we're committed to next year, and then if the clubs want to raise it the following year, then they raise it in the normal format. We're not, you know, it's we're part of a big football family, and one of those, and our football family is the Australian Amateur Football Council. So we need to conform to what they want, just as our clubs have to conform to what we want. But at the end of the day, if the clubs don't want it anymore, they have to let us know and put up a debate for it.
Yeah. And anything else you'd like to say about you know, the league and how it's?
No, we're moving ahead, and there's obviously you're never going to please everyone, but we're moving ahead, and we're doing the best we can with the resources we have, and at the end of the day, we're the only metropolitan competition in Adelaide, and that being the case, we have to make sure it's a very good one.
Great. Well, at some stage before the end of the year, I'd love to have you again. Maybe we can talk about whatever happens Monday night with junior footy, things like that.
Well, there's a lot on the agenda. There's a lot on the agenda.
Yeah.
So
Certainly don't want to make this one-off.
More than happy to come down again.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
You've been listening to 100.5 Wow FM with the General Manager of the South Australian Amateur Football League, John Kernahan. Thanks very much again for being here, mate, and filling us all in, answering a lot of the questions that people would have.
Thanks very much, Tom.
No worries, mate.